Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be doing a review of the new Bugs Life Shadow Palette Set. This is the 3 eyeshadows that are included in the All the Buzz collection. I believe this is Colourpop's spring collection. And as I said, I just got the eyeshadow palettes as I wasn't a huge fan of the blush colors. I'm not a huge fan of single shadows, and I have way too many lip glosses to begin with. So yeah, I thought I would just test out the eyeshadows, get the meat of the collection, you know, the heart of the collection. And I have created a look with each one of them. And I'm going to be showing you step by step how I've created this look so that you guys can see a look created with each palette. You guys can see what the palette can do, and you guys can see where my opinions are coming from. So let's talk first about the So Fly eyeshadow palette. Each of the palettes are inspired by an insect, by a bug, because it's like spring, you know, but this one is a dragonfly. So very pretty. I love the packaging on all of these, very spring-like, very beautiful. And when you take a look at this palette, it has a very interesting color scheme in a lot of ways. So it has some beautiful mattes. It has a nice kind of neutral to cool toned transition shade, which I really, really like. There's not as many cool toned options when it comes to like these kind of sets. I feel like I see a lot of warm tones. So I love to see that this is pretty like neutral. And the 2 darker mattes are really beautiful as well. I felt that the mattes were pigmented, they were blendable, and they were very beautiful. And then when we move over to the metallics, they honestly are stunning. It comes with a nice teal, which really spices the palette up. As I forgot to mention, it also does come with a kind of like peachy pink. And so I do feel like it gives a lot of option to either go more bright, you can go stick with the neutral. It gives a lot of option in terms of color, yet it still has a lot of everyday shades. So you could do a lot with this palette. As I said, that pop of teal is really pretty. It was pretty pigmented. It wasn't super light reflective, but it was really beautiful shade. And the shade in the middle here, FYI, is a duochrome, which is absolutely stunning on its own. As you will see, like really pretty, beautiful shift to it. But what I really liked about it is when you apply it over top of this teal, it creates a really stunning shade. So you see that teal there, like it's pretty. Both shades are pretty individually. You take this duochrome and you apply it over top, and just look at the shade you're left with. It's even more bright, it's even more fun, and I really liked utilizing that. It also comes with some lighter metallics, which were really beautiful and perfect for inner corner or making things pop. So I really did enjoy this one. I do think it's a perfect little spring palette, and I definitely would recommend it. Then moving on to the Glow Getter, as you can see for these 2 I did on one eye, so I could kind of, you know, save some time, not have to do my makeup 3 times. This one, I really liked the color scheme of. I liked how it was pretty neutral, you know, soft brown, darker medium brown, a black for the mattes. I really liked that. You also have a cooler kind of rose. Okay, well, they describe it as a muted warm beige. I don't know. It's not warm to me at all. It's very cool toned. It almost comes off as like a lavender purple. I personally didn't like this shade, and I also didn't love this shade. Honestly, all of the mattes in this palette weren't my favorite. It came together fine, so it is like doable. It's fine, but I found the 2 lighter shades, like the transition shades, were not very pigmented at all. I wasn't a huge fan of those. This one showed up quite a bit more, this medium brown, but still not like that depth that usually would come with Colourpop's eyeshadows, and you know, even with this first palette. And then once I moved over to the black, it was obviously more pigmented, but it's a black, so it obviously, you know, is going to have more pigmentation, but it still lacked like richness and depth. Now the metallics were beautiful in this palette, so I will give it that. First of all, you get a sequin here, which is this brown, and I actually ended up using it as a matte because when you do use sequins with a fluffier brush, you typically lose a lot of the glitter and the shimmer, and it becomes more of a matte. And so I did use it, and I found that it was quite a bit more pigmented, but the other metallics were really pretty. I especially liked this one here and this one here. They were very pigmented, creamy, bright, and light reflective, and really made a beautiful look. I feel like once I added the metallics, even though the mattes weren't perfect, the metallics did tie it all in. I still was able to create a really good look. I would say it's my least favorite out of all three, and personally I think if you want to purchase all three, if you want to get the set that I did, you still can use this. As I said, the metallics are so stunning, and the mattes aren't awful. They're not like, you know, unusable, but I do feel like for Colourpop I had higher standards for the mattes, and so this one wasn't as impressive. If you're buying them individually, then I would say probably pass on this one. The Glow Getter was, I believe, inspired by a, you know, those lightning bugs. The I don't know what they're called. The Wannabe is obviously inspired by a bee, and it is a much warmer toned option. So I would say it is the only one that's super warm toned, but it's not too warm. You know, sometimes when you play with warm palettes, they can almost be too orange, especially for fair skin tones. So this one was really like the perfect level of warmth. I really liked this one. I did not use the yellow because I didn't want it to be too warm. But this one here was a really nice, and this is another example of a good Colourpop transition shade. It was pigmented, it was blendable, it was like airbrush, easy to use and blend out. This one here and this one here, the other two mattes, were very pigmented and blendable as well. As you can see, everything really transitions nicely. There's no harsh edges, there's no patchiness. So I really, really liked the mattes in this one again, and the metallics were really pretty as well. This one is a nice kind of bronzy, coppery shade, and then this one has a more peachiness to it, peachy gold, and then this one has a kind of gold, yellowy gold champagne color to it. I used all of those shades. All of them really impressed me, were beautiful, and I think if this is a color scheme you are interested in, you will enjoy it. I would definitely go for this one again, especially for those warm toned looks. So altogether, I was very impressed with this collection aside from the Glow Getter. I do feel like my favorite, oh that's hard, it's definitely between these two. I'm honestly going to say the So Fly, only because of its uniqueness. You know, we've seen this color scheme over and over and over again. It doesn't take away from how beautiful it is, but I have seen very similar palettes to this, you know, elsewhere. I probably have some that have very similar, you know, those warm toned browns and the orangey golden peachy metallics. Still love it, and if you're interested in that, recommend it. But this one here, as I said, is very unique and different. It has so many different color options, yet it still all ties in really beautifully together. And with this duochrome here, it gives a more unique vibe to the palette that I really enjoyed. So yeah, that is my final opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I really, really liked this collection, and it was perfect for spring. I'm glad to have these added to my collection. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.